Hi, welcome to our video review of Tell Me Why, where we're going to explain to you if this is a story worth experiencing. So let's start off first. The main characters are Alyson and Tyler, their sister and brother. And let's start with some of the accessibility options in this game to make sure lots of different people can play it. So this game is great for allowing lots of different abilities of players to be able to play. It has a range of settings from a dyslexic mode to a high contrast background, and includes lots of other settings as well. Now, the main thing I found striking about this game was the art and graphics. They are beautiful. They help create an interesting world from environments to individual items. These small details really add personality to a world, especially during puzzles. The puzzles sometimes involve them reading through their childhood book, so the puzzles do require a reading skill. But there is an option: if you can't quite read the text on screen, you can just press down on the D-pad, and like in a high contrast mode, you can read it nice and clear in a nice clear text. For this review, I'm just going to explain the basic premise of the story without any spoilers. So these are just like the main bits that you would learn from the blurb anyway, and just the rough explanation of like to set up the story. So Alyson and Tyler return to their old home to try and sell it, and they've got to try and remember and discover what happened to their mom, because their mom dies. I'm not going to go into how, but it's up to them to figure out what happened. So it's quite a difficult emotional subjects in this story, but it deals with these emotional subjects really well. There's some trans characters in the story as well, and everything is done in a respectful way. And overall, this game is very good for having a good, diverse range of characters and personalities. The characters have a lot of depth and development throughout the 3 chapters, so it lasts about 10 hours, but I feel like you don't get the same characters you went in with. Like, they develop over time, and you get a little bit know them a bit more, and they kind of like develop themselves as well, so that's good. So the core gameplay is a mixture of puzzle solving, dialogue choices, and exploring environments. So I find this development team has learned from their previous games, because they've worked on the Life is Strange series, so there's a lot of like puzzle solving, but the puzzles I found much better in this game than their previous games, and the dialogue choices are important. So it's one of those games, if you haven't played, where someone will be talking and then they'll give you like multiple options, but what option you choose isn't just like, oh, it's just going to be whether the text or whether they say on screen. This will have an impact later on other characters as well, so it pulls you in more than, say, a normal story game, because what your choices you make can have a lasting effect. So this development team has definitely brought their experience they've learned from previous games, from the Life is Strange games, to make their best game so far. So the differences in Tell Me Why is that Alyson and Tyler can communicate telepathically, and they can physically see their past memories, which show up in the environment. So very cool. They're like these sort of like ghostly projections, but not in a spooky way, but they show up in the environment, and you can kind of like walk around and see the event and hear their past memories, and that kind of plays into figuring out the story and the puzzles. So overall, Tell Me Why is both an interesting story and a game is really unique. So if you've ever played Life is Strange, I'd highly recommend this. If you haven't, this is also a good place to start as well, because this is their most polished game. So thank you for watching this review. Remember to click like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews. There should be a little box up on the screen now to go to my page with other reviews. And thank you very much for watching, and enjoy.